But we begin tonight right here in New Orleans, where it is now day 44 of the BP oil disaster. In the midst of this ongoing crisis, President Obama today mined political capital from it. Political capital mined from this unparalleled environmental disaster to put toward a big 90-degree turn in this nation's energy policy.
The catastrophe unfolding in the Gulf right now may prove to be a result of human error, or of corporations taking dangerous shortcuts to compromise safety, or a combination of both. But we have to acknowledge that there are inherent risks to drilling 4 miles beneath the surface of the earth. And these are risks that are bound to increase the harder oil extraction becomes. We can pursue such production only if it's safe, and only if it's used as a short-term solution while we transition to a clean energy economy. And the time has come to aggressively accelerate that transition. The time has come, once and for all, for this nation to fully embrace a clean energy future.
The time has come to aggressively accelerate that transition. You know, we've heard lots and lots of different presidents shout applause lines like that over the years. But nobody has ever had a crude-soaked political backdrop as big as this one to help him make this case. President Obama used this clarifying moment as the nation's eyes are trained a mile underground, everybody cursing this unabated flow of oil. He used this image to urge the country toward progress.
The House of Representatives has already passed a comprehensive energy and climate bill. And there's currently a plan in the Senate, a plan that was developed with ideas from Democrats and Republicans that would achieve the same goal. In Pittsburgh, I want you to know, the votes may not be there right now, but I intend to find them in the coming months. I will continue to make the case for a clean energy future wherever and whenever I can. I will work with anyone to get this done, and we will get it done. The next generation will not be held hostage to energy sources from the last century. We are not going to move backwards. We are going to move forward.
In order to move forward, of course, Mr. Obama needs to find votes in the Senate. And sometimes finding votes means conciliation and cajoling. And sometimes finding votes means getting combative, getting the country on your side, and being willing to call the other side wrong.
A good deal of the other party's opposition to our agenda has also been rooted in their sincere and fundamental belief about the role of government. It's a belief that government has little or no role to play in helping this nation meet our collective challenges. It's an agenda that basically offers two answers to every problem we face: more tax breaks for the wealthy and fewer rules for corporations. If you're a Wall Street bank or an insurance company or an oil company, you pretty much get to play by your own rules, regardless of the consequences for everybody else. And now we have a choice as a nation. We can return to the failed economic policies of the past, or we can keep building a stronger future. We can go backward, or we can keep moving forward. And I don't know about you, but I want to move forward. I think America wants to move forward.
Now, when you're the party out of power, as the Republicans are, almost by definition, you don't really have one national leader who can respond to a sort of scathing attack like that from the president. But in the case of this year's Republican Party, you do have Sarah Palin, and she does have the Twitter. Mrs. Palin took to her Twitter account to say that the BP oil disaster has proven her "drill, baby, drill" slogan to be correct. And she says the spill is all the left's fault. See if you can follow this one. Palin tweeted, quote, "Extreme greenies. See now why we push drill, baby, drill of known reserves, promising finds in safe onshore places like Anwar? Now do you get it? Yeah, now do you get it? No, really, do you get it? Sort of an open question. It's kind of complicated. And kind of strange. I think what she's saying is that Drill Baby Drill wasn't about drilling for oil offshore, silly Billy. It was about drilling in, quote, safe onshore places. And this whole BP oil disaster thing is the result of extreme greenies who like the offshore drilling. Yeah, not sure that cleared it up. But the idea is that essentially the media has gotten it wrong this whole time. It's the lamestream media who would be so lame as to conclude that Sarah Palin was ever in favor of offshore drilling.
And we will safely drill for the billions of barrels of oil that are warehoused underground, including our offshore sources. We will safely drill for the billions of barrels of oil that we have underground, including offshore. Drill, baby, drill. That's right. It also means safely tapping into our offshore sources, safely, environmentally safe.
I am a big supporter of domestic extraction of the resources that we are so reliant on. And I'm a supporter of offshore drilling.
Offshore oil drilling has pretty much been etched into the Republican Party's platform recently. No pun intended. And it's not just Sarah Palin who has been pushing it.
We can offshore drill now. We've got to do it now.
The right course is the one championed by Ronald Reagan 30 years ago and by John McCain and Sarah Palin today. The immediate drilling for more oil off our shores.
He'll do it with an all-of-the-above approach, including nuclear power, and yes, offshore oil drilling. Drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill.
We will drill new wells offshore, and we'll drill them now. And my friends, drill offshore and drill now.
Drill offshore and drill now. We didn't sneakily lamestream media-y, drop that in and Photoshop it to make it look better. That's what they said. This is boilerplate Republicanism of the modern era. Don't restrain the free market. If oil companies want to drill offshore, let them drill offshore. Let's make a chant out of it. Please drill offshore. Today, President Obama drew a bright line between that and Democratic-led efforts to move away from that, thinking that one of those two sides is going to look way better to the American public right now than the other one. Joining us now is Senator Barbara Boxer, Democrat from the state of California and chair of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee. Senator Boxer, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Rachel.
The president today issuing a sort of clarion call for the climate bill to get through the Senate. What is the status of the climate bill in the Senate right now? Could it conceivably get done?
Sure, it can get done. The last time we tried it, we had 54 votes. We need 60. If America needed to see why we need to move away from these dirty sources of energy, they see it heartbreakingly every single minute of the day. And we know also we're importing $1 billion of oil from folks who don't like us. It makes tremendous sense. And I was pleased to hear in the president's voice a real determination. He had that same sound that he had before we passed health care. I'm excited about that. We need to move away from these old energy sources toward the new clean energy sources that the whole world wants. And they should be made in America. I want to see those words again. The world is waiting for a leader to step forward, and it should be our country.
There were some incentives in the climate bill for states to open their shores to offshore drilling. Do you expect that those incentives are going to be changed or taken out entirely? Surely the politics of that issue are entirely changed now, even Sarah Palin denying that she ever meant drilling offshore when she said drill, baby, drill.
Well, let's be clear, as you have shown it, it's just straight out there. They wanted to drill anywhere and everywhere, deep, shallow, onshore, offshore. As a matter of fact, those very same voices were the ones who killed the congressional moratorium, which we had for many years in the Outer Continental Shelf, which, thank goodness, we still have, off the West Coast, which a lot of us are protecting, the 6 senators from the West Coast. But yes, in the latest version of the bill by John Kerry, Joe Lieberman, and it was Lindsey Graham, they did put out some incentives for the states, but I think those have been pulled back. In the bill that I reported out of our committee, we had no incentives and no offshore oil drilling in that bill. But clearly, this is a whole new situation here, Rachel, and I think a lot of the news is going to shock people. I have some information that in 2007, when the Bush administration decided that the Gulf area can have a big, new, robust 5-year plan. You should hear, and I have to have it here if you want, what they said about the risks of a spill.
So this is from 2007 during the Bush administration.
Yes.
And this is their explanation of what they thought the risks would be. If you have it there, if you could share it with us, I think it would be the first time anybody's heard it.
It's true. Let me read it to you. Excuse my reading glasses here. They said,
oh, they're cute. Don't worry.
blowouts are expected to have temporary localized impacts on water quality. They said, should a spill contact a barrier beach, oiling is expected to be light and sand removal during cleanup activities minimized.